Now then, it seems that fewer of you at home are buying electric cars. In the first half of the year, 37,000 new electric cars were registered to private motorists. That's down from more than 41,000 in the same period last year, an 11% drop. Question is, why? Quentin Willson is a motoring journalist and founder of the campaigning group FairCharge. Quentin, I suppose some of this is just economic circumstances and people not splashing out a lot of money on big items.
Yeah, we would be very surprised if they were buying electric cars in their droves. We've got one of the worst recessions since the Second World War, highest interest rates for 15 years, slowest rate of property sales for 12 years. So there's an incredible pressure on consumers for big ticket items. But I think there's another reason, Andrew, why there's this kind of lack of confidence in the consumer market, and that is the relentless tirade of anti-EV stories in the mainstream media. There was one tabloid, and we counted them up, who did 180 continuous days of anti-EV stories, one anti-EV story a day for 180 days. So, yeah, we're seeing people. I was told by a Tesla salesman the other day that, they come in and they say, I desperately want to buy a Tesla, but I've read all this stuff in the newspapers that say electric cars are rubbish. Please, we're so confused. And I think that is a big drag on demand, and unless we're careful, this threatens to sabotage consumer adoption of electric cars.
What do you think is the motivation behind attacks on the whole idea of electric cars?
Well, I mean, I hope it's not a conspiracy from big oil or Saudi Arabia or Russia. I think it's just simply clickbait. It's a really polarizing thing, isn't it? The energy transition and having to give up your petrol and diesel car and buy an electric car by 2030. So newspaper editors see this as an opportunity to really get people going. And you look at the comments section, and Giles Corran did that very famous column in the Sunday Times about giving up his electric Jaguar. And he got 7,000 clicks on that column he wrote, which was the most of any column in the Sunday Times. So it's obvious that this is part of the motivation. Yeah.
And indeed, I think 40 Tory MPs have written to Rishi Sunak asking him to delay the 2030 date for the ban on new diesel and petrol cars, which is, I guess, another part of the lack of confidence around the thing. But there is also a price thing here, isn't there, Quentin? Which is, I think Volkswagen say that their cheapest range electric car is going to be around 21,000 quid, which is a lot more than you can get a new petrol car for. So we're not yet at the stage where there is a market for families who can't afford, the top range or middle range electric cars.
Well, this is another government policy we need to look at, isn't it? The French are doing a scheme where lower demographic drivers can have access to electric cars for €100 a month on a subsidized scheme. So instead of subsidizing middle class people, we should be looking at how we get lower demographics into zero emission motoring. But second-hand electric cars, Andrew, are now on parity with combustion cars, and you can buy an electric Renault Zoe, perfectly good, do 200 miles to one charge for $5,000. So that argument that they are beyond purchase for all of us is not completely the case. They are expensive, yes, but they have been steadily coming down, and there are discounts on electric new cars, really quite significant ones right now.
Quentin Willson, I'm sure there's going to be an uptick again very soon for electric cars. Thank you so much for talking to LBC.
Thank you.
Now, coming up, one of the most